resignation of Bank of Ghana governor to September 12. Government reaffirms commitment to reclaiming degraded land to position the country to benefit from the ongoing trading of carbon. Also, Abomafia of Asogli State, Togbe Afede XIV, urges traditional leaders to embrace the principles of truth for peace to drive development. And on the international front, authorities in Niger announced reopening of country's airspace for civil and commercial flights. Details of these stories and many more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. Let's start off from the bipartisan parliamentary probe on the alleged plot to oust the Inspector General of Police because another version of the leaked tape with additional information has emerged. Chairman of the committee, Samuel Atachian, indicated that the committee would have to study the new tape. Superintendent George Asari was the third witness before the committee sitting.
The committee, at its hearing on Monday, took the witness statement of Superintendent George Lysander Asari. He told the committee that he is currently a protocol officer at the headquarters of the Ghana Police Service.
Do you admit that your voice is on the tape?
Yes, Mr. Chair, but there is some cut and paste on the audio, but that notwithstanding, the voice in it is mine.
He also indicated to the committee that Bugri Nabu had told a lot of lies and had invented a lot of statements concerning himself and COP George Mensah.
I have Alhaji Bugri Nabu on tape. Everything he came to say here on video in his office, the same office. His relationship with IGP and contracts, 40,000 boots contracts.
My brother, you were very good and said you speak in camera. Have you forgotten yourself? Yes. Ask your very simple question whether you appear before the
Honorable
NIB.
Chair, sorry.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I'm
all right.
Sorry.
We've had the benefit of a tape on the assumption that it's authentic. The members of the committee will have to internalize that tape, and it is also transcribed and look at it. And that will give us the ideas as to what to do. First of all, do we bring all the stakeholders together with their lawyers for cross-examination and cross-firing to take place? Whilst we listen attentively, and later when they finish, then we'll have our turn.
Duke Benson Poku, TV3 News, Parliament House, Accra.
Now, security analyst Colonel Festus Abuaje, retired, has voiced his support for calls to extend the sitting of the bipartisan committee tasked with investigating the leaked tape. His stance is rooted in the belief that an extended proceedings will facilitate a more comprehensive understanding of the situation. This, in turn, will provide a solid foundation for informed decision-making based on a thorough examination of the evidence and testimony related to the leaked tape.
Audio tape came out. I listened to certain individuals on certain platforms, that's media, purporting that there were video files. So the whole idea is I want to get to the bottom of the conspiracy. And I think the committee had access to the video file, digested it, did the transcript, shared it with the witnesses, and if need be, recalled them to appear before the committee, the better. But I say we need to look beyond the exchanges before the committee and try and understand what is really going on. One is that there has been an extensive politicization of our security institutions that we need to admit. When this gentleman on the committee, the Chief Superintendent or Superintendent Tobu, was about to leave, he tendered his resignation. And then he indicated that he was going to go into politics. Some Ghanaians tore him into shreds. That he had been an NDC officer all along, and yet was very close to the IGP and so on and so forth. See, this time around, the very people who were castigating Tobu for coming out that he did not practice politics whilst he was in uniform, but he was leaving to go into politics. Those people who castigated him are now very quiet. And this is a very bad case. We need to hear those people. But all I'm saying is that the degree of politicization is worrisome.
Well, political science lecturer at the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asasante, has been reacting.
I'm sure as the days go by, we'll be able to know what his thinking is relative to the issue we are talking about. But there is no doubt that he was not happy with the way aspect of the processes went. That is in no doubt. I don't belong to the school of thought who believe that the status quo will remain. There may be a change for whoever that is contesting, provided that individual is able to address certain concerns. On November 4th, we are going to witness a whole lot of people who are going to take part, over 220,000 people. Those are lots. And the demography obviously will change, and that will also change the dynamics, because you are going to get youth in there who will require their government to be able to fix the problem of unemployment, which is a major issue in this country. Remember that what they are going to look at not only things that pertain to the NPP, but that beyond NPP, what will happen? So the issue of unemployment will come in, which is a national one, issue of the economy, all right? Who has the mandate of governing this country? How have you managed the economy? That issue will come up strongly, and that could also change the conversation. Issue of corruption, who is better placed to be able to fight corruption? Issue of messaging, what type of message will resonate with the people? An issue of strategy, now that you have the expanded body which is going to vote, what will be your strategy and all that? So there are a whole gamut of factors that are going to be brought to bear on the situation. It is time for Mr. Kyerematen to reflect soberly and then look at how well he will be able to organize himself and then his followers to achieve a better results next time.
Well, he's been reacting to Alan Kyerematen's decision to withdraw from the race. He will be speaking today on that as well. Now, going on to other stories, government has affirmed its aim of reclaiming degraded land in the country to position the country to benefit from the ongoing trading of carbon. The resolution is coming as leaders of the continent ramp up pressure on global superpowers and financial markets to reevaluate Africa's resources to access funds. My colleague Eric Mauna Ebeta reports from the inaugural Africa Climate Summit in Kenya.
So it's been a packed first day of the Africa Climate Summit here in Nairobi, Kenya, the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where the Ghanaian delegation has been strong as all of Africa comes together really in a last-minute push to have the global financial architecture changed ahead of COP28 in Saudi Arabia. Minister of State in charge of Finance, Dr. Amin Adam, reiterated the importance for the African continent to find the right balance in terms of being able to have its natural resources recognized.
We want the market environment to be right for us. We must be able to borrow at rates that pertains to how much developed countries borrow. Okay, we need fairness in the international capital market so that we can compete.
There were also speeches from the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, on carbon marketing, seeking to have the African continent leverage on being one of the biggest lungs of the world. But for Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abu Jinapor, the conversation on carbon marketing only gives the Ghanaian government the impetus to reclaim lands ravaged by illegal mining.
To tap into the carbon market, raise significant amounts of funding to be able to promote afforestation, reclamation of our degraded lands, revegetation, and generally restore the forest and landscape of our country, Ghana.
Expectations on the climate architecture and financial architecture will be pivotal and central in all of the debates, where Ghana's president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is expected to play a key role. Eric Mawina Egbeta, TV3 News.
On to some more stories now, and some members of the public have expressed frustrations over the delay in getting their Ghana cards issued after months of application. This comes after the National Identification Authority on Monday began the phase 2 of the Ghana card registration for first-time applicants aged 15 years and above. Christian Yali visited the NIA head office and reports.
Who visited the NIA's head office complained about their unsuccessful attempt to obtain Ghana cards, causing increasing agitation and frustration.
I've been chasing it since 2021. This year is coming to an end. I'm still chasing it. They didn't give me a specific reason, because the day I did it, they actually told me to come the next day for the card. I went the next day, I didn't get the card. And since then, they've been tossing me.
They told me to come tomorrow because they've closed for the day. So I should be here by 8 a.m.
Some traveled long distances to obtain their cards, only to be told to return later.
Anytime I come, they say system down, network, and all that stuff. But other people come, they pay money to them, they issue the card to them instantly, whilst those who've paid for premium service haven't received our card yet.
They are saying the system is slow, so we have to wait for a while, so I'm waiting.
The news team attempted to get responses to some of the issues raised, but no official would speak on record. The free Ghana card registration will not take place at NIA's regional offices operating as premium registration centers. These include NIA regional offices at Ho, Koforidua, Kumasi, Sunyani, Seshirioso, Takrade, Tamale, and Techiman. Christian Yale, TV3 News, NIA Head Office, Accra.
Now, the Bi Traditional Council has called on the president to constitute an independent inquiry to investigate an alleged police raid at Bi Godenu in the Volta region, leading to the death of 3 persons.
This angered the police officers who stormed Bi Godenu town and vandalized properties and set fire to 41 motorbikes, smashing 7 cars, 1 tractor, breaking into shops, destroying fridges, shelves, and looted items in the shops. Amid sporadic shooting, teachers were assaulted and their mobile phones smashed. School pupils were threatened with guns and locked up in their classrooms. Commander the 7th, the former chief of the Bi Traditional area and the president of the Bi Traditional Council, having carefully considered the trend of events in the Bi Traditional area over the past years, on behalf of the Bi State and in my own right, is calling on the President of the Republic of Ghana to immediately and as a matter of urgency set up an independent committee of inquiry to investigate as far as past and current events of police brutalities and killings of innocent citizens in the Bi State are concerned.
Now, the Agbobo Mafia of the Asogli State and Paramount Chief of the Asogli Traditional Area, Toby Afede the 14th, has called on traditional leaders to embrace the principles of truth for peace and drive development. Toby Afede urged his fellows to be an embodying of principles in their respective communities.
Toby Togbi Apada XIV took the throne as Sogli State in 2003 and quickly employed diplomacy, truth and selfless determination to improve the state's reputation. He committed to enhancing the socio-economic well-being of the populace and has carried out a number of initiatives. Togbi Apada has laid down more initiatives as he marks the 20-year tenure as the overlord.
I will relaunch before the end of the year the Ghana Medical Aid Fund to take care of people who are suffering from various strange ailments, particularly children. Most excitingly, I want to launch the Akuyo and Atta Foundation to honor the memories of my mother and my late twin brother. And I intend to give to the foundation 60% of my business interests. I want my work to benefit generations upon generations. And I believe that
he urged the other traditional chiefs to preserve the truth.
But of course, we the chiefs must work together to ensure that it will require honesty on our part. If we all thread the path of strictest honesty, there will not be disputes. Whenever there are disputes, somebody will tell the truth. So I encourage our chiefs to hold on to the path of strict honesty so we can establish peace on the chieftaincy front and also find the cause of peace across our country and our continent.
The Omahine of the Sikado traditional area, Nana Kobnan Ketia V, urged everyone, especially leaders, to follow in his footsteps.
Togbi lets us know that any real Togbi will never harm or oppress another. Any real Togbi will share his last bread or his last gari with others in need. Any real Togbi will never cheat or steal from others to survive. Selflessness, humility, truthfulness have been the mark of this honorable man. In fancy, we'll say that
the week-long event coincided with the 2013 Sogli Teza, scheduled to take place in Ho.
Well, news just reaching us is that the Colleges of Education Teachers Association, CTAG, is likely to call off their strike today after 32 of their National Executive Committee members voted in opposition to the strike. We'll definitely follow up on that developing story. But let's do some international news now. The authorities in Niger have announced the reopening of the country's airspace for civil and commercial flights. The military junta in Niamey closed access to the skies above the country on 6th August, citing a threat of military invasion from neighboring countries. This came after the leaders of regional bloc ECOWAS said they might use force following the 26th July coup, which ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. The decision to open the airspace, however, does not apply to military flights and other special flights, which are subject to authorization from the competent authorities. However, flights to the country may still be restricted due to economic sanctions imposed by ECOWAS. And that's all for the 6 a.m. news here on TV3. My name is Judith Awachi Tando, but of course, Roland and Nashoko are with me in the studio with the rest of New Day. Good morning.
Well, good morning.
Hi, Judith. How are you?
Great. I'm fine, and you?
Oh, great. Wonderful. It's a good day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is.
Roland.
You're looking good.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm well. Yesterday, I got an insult from somebody who said, when we sit on TV, we overestimate what the prices of goods and services
An insult?
Really?
Yes. It was an insult from somebody who is politically exposed.
Oh,
So,
I see.
But I thought, well, because I shared a story about how the kinky that I bought
Yes,
was
the
4 cedi was
kinky.